Hi, my name is Ken Davidian, and welcome to the second season of Organization Theory in Space, or OT in Space. In this season, I'm making a brief video for each of the chapters in the Oxford Handbook of Organizational Change and Innovation, second edition, edited by Marshall Scott Poole and Andy Van de Ven. This video covers chapter 35 of the handbook, entitled Connecting More Deeply with Life in Organizations. In this chapter, the author, who is both an academic and a practitioner, takes a practitioner's perspective in evaluating the theoretical contributions made in the handbook using three criteria. The first assesses the validity of the theories presented, whether they are both cumulative and learning. The second question assesses the utility of the theories, whether or not they can be used to predict outcomes of the change process. The last question assesses how generalizable the theories are, asking if the theories present ideas in a way that allows us to challenge what we tend to take for granted. The first assessment is whether the theories presented in the handbook meet the criteria of good theory. Models in the physical sciences are built piece by piece, cumulatively, over time, and are comprehensive and timeless, with the ability to generate falsifiable hypotheses that pass the test, giving the ability to make accurate predictions of the future. Unfortunately, models in the social sciences are not well suited to this type of theorizing for many reasons. Some of these reasons include the existence of so many internal and external dimensions and variables that we just don't understand. There are chains of events that lead from independent to dependent variables that can be very lengthy. And the behavior being modeled changes based on the results of previous theorizing. So given all these differences, the ability to generalize from established organizational studies theories to other organizational forms, other times, other circumstances, and other contexts is extremely limited. The theoretical utility assessment criteria, as applied to the theories presented in the handbook, asks whether they can explain real-world outcomes and help direct the change process. In the author's assessment, the chapters tend to focus on theoretical utility and provide supporting studies that tend to illustrate the theories under discussion, providing examples of the theories rather than tests of the theories. The author asserts that rather than challenging and testing the theory to provide utility, the handbook predominantly provides longevity to conceptual frameworks by giving examples that provide coherence and confirmation. The third assessment criteria is generativity, asking whether the theory provides an interesting way of seeing the world that provides insights into complex organizational processes, and does it help us challenge the status quo? Basically, are these theories able to be applied to, rather than simply be descriptive of, different situations? In practice, the author is constantly trying to incorporate the frames and language of the real-world situation to co-create an approach and solution that informs more academic perspectives, rather than trying to impose these academic perspectives, vocabularies, and theories on real-world situations. In reviewing the handbook, the author was looking for, but did not necessarily find, more two-way communication of ideas between the academic and practitioner perspectives. Next, the author provides his reactions to the handbook in general, using three objectives each chapter was asked to provide. First, each chapter was asked to provide the current state of research in the given theoretical area. Second, each chapter was to describe the theory in practice with examples. Third, the chapter was to provide research-based principles of change and resistance. The author asserts that each chapter accomplished the first objective of describing the current state of research, although there was an understandable lack of empirical support for the theories. This was due to the difficulty of performing action research, embedding the research within the heart of organizations, in the face of concerns about privacy, security, confidentiality, etc. The author thinks the second and third objectives of each handbook chapter were performed to a level that was not as thorough as he would have liked. The author asserts that there was too much reliance on academic literature and not enough inclusion of the literature used by practitioners. He also felt the chapters were disconnected from real-world experiences and situations. The author observed how complex situations on the ground are as compared to the handbook's theoretical descriptions. But this seems paradoxical considering the need to simplify theory to encourage adoption by the practitioner community. The examples provided in the handbook chapters helps bring the theory closer to the real world, but the examples used are very familiar and don't sufficiently recognize life within the organization. However, regarding the discussion of organizational change processes, the author noted the lack of discussion or simplistic treatment of influential dimensions in the handbook chapters, the personal interests of managers, the concepts of identity and challenges to identity, power dynamics, communication and its relation to social construction of organizations, collaborative interactions within and between organizations during the change process, and systems thinking and systems theory. In conclusion, the author finds the chapters to be too siloed, especially the chapters dealing with hybrid models. He recognizes the shortcomings that are inevitable due to time constraints, but asserts that being what he calls multilingual, being able to translate and integrate the language and ideas from multiple perspectives, is critical to innovation studies. Well, that's it from this chapter. Of course, if you want more details about any of the concepts in this chapter, I encourage you to refer back to the chapters that are referenced in this video. I hope you found this chapter as exciting and interesting as I did, and hopefully you did too. And if that's the case, then please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can find out about future videos coming out. Thank you very much. OT in Space was produced by IRL, which stands for Impossible Research LLC. IRL conducts process research on the topics of innovation and industry emergence within the space sector context. IRL also offers services of organization theory consulting, research consulting, and STEAM outreach. This video is intended for educational purposes only.